In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. This morning's epistle reading from Colossians holds very important and meaningful feelings to me. I was the rector of Trinity Church in Houston, big church there. I was approached by a young woman who asked me to baptize her 5-year-old son because he hadn't been baptized, and they were from England. She had come from England, was Anglican, and over there, it just happens. And her mother was coming for the first time in the conversation. She didn't want to face her mother with her child unbaptized. But that wasn't a very good reason in my mind, but I was willing to do it and said, if y'all will attend, your husband, and your son will attend a couple of classes about what baptism is about in the faith of the church, I would do that. So we did. We had those meetings, and I think the husband and wife didn't much pay attention, but the son did. He was a very precocious young boy. And he asked a lot of questions, and he was very interested. So I felt a lot better about it. Okay? Well, on the day of the baptism, we go to the service, and at a certain point, we go over in the baptismal chapel, and we're ready, and I go and bless the water, get everything ready, and I turn to him and I say to him, okay, let's get baptized. And he looked up at his mother and said, "Do you really want me to do this?" And she said, "Oh, yes, of course." And he said, "No, I mean, really, do you really want me to do this?" She says, "Yes." So he looked at me and he says, "Well, I'm ready." So I take him over to the pond, and there, and he gets up, and she goes, "Yes, Princess." He closes his eyes, does this, and goes, "Okay, do it." Well, I poured water on his head. Baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Anointed him, wiped his head. He goes, "Is that it?" I took him out of the hand, walked him out, introduced him as the newest Christian. Went on with the service. They asked if I would join them after the service for pictures. Church, so I called her. When they come over, the mother is crying. I'm a little surprised. I said, "Man, what's the problem?" She said, "You know why he asked you that question before the baptism?" Oh, that was a bit unusual. She said, "He thought you were going to kill him." He thought I was going to kill him. Listen again. In him also you were circumcised with the spiritual circumcision by putting off the body of the flesh and the circumcision of Christ. And when you were buried with him in baptism, you were also raised with him through faith in the power of God who raised him from the dead. And when you were dead in trespasses, uncircumcision of faith, God made you alive. We hear a lot about the faith of children, don't we? I experienced it. This little boy was willing to die because his mother was the right thing to do, and the priest thought it was the right thing to do. And all these people were gathered, and he was willing to die. I'm not sure he understood exactly why they were going to kill him or what the advantage was, but he was willing. How many of us have trusted like that? This came at a particular time in my life, very important, because because I had just discovered I had brain tumor. I had a brain tumor, still have it. I went through a series of very traumatic experiences, discovered the brain tumor, had to go in. I mean, it was a bad deal. I nearly died, faced death 3 times. And I discovered in that however else I had not trusted God, there was nothing I could do but trust God when death comes. You can't bargain with God at that moment. You have nothing to bargain with. You can only go into that moment in trust. It started changing my life. Because I used to say I trusted God, but did I really? Really? I'll admit to you that I didn't always. And there's a reason why that. Okay? Pam knows this. How do you know when God is asking you to do something? The first words out of your mouth will be, you want me to what? Trust me, if it's really God, and you really think He's talking to you, those will be the first words out of your mouth. Look at him. Look at Moses. Look at Abraham. Look at all the people who we now know trusted God, were faithful, and did what they were told to do. Every one of them may not use those exact terms, but I guarantee you that's what went through their head. Because God doesn't ask simple things. God doesn't ask easy things. God asks what He knows He can do, even if we don't believe it. One of His favorite phrases, it's too light a thing to make you this or that. I got more for you if you'll do it. It's a struggle, isn't it? It's a struggle. It can be fearful. It can be scary. You can think you're not worthy. You can think you're not capable. You can think, well, you're not really hearing God, right? He wouldn't ask you to do that, would He? I've always said, you and I know nothing about the Virgin Sally. You know why? She said no. You know about the Virgin Mary and Moses, Abraham, and all the others because they said yes. And they trusted in God. It's faithful. If we're going to put our lives in the hands of God in our death, why aren't we doing it before Him? To the degree we should. I struggle. I'm not telling you I'm any better at doing it than I was. God has asked me to do some very strange things. And to a certain amount, I've said yes. And the ones I've said yes to have been wonderful. They were the things I should have done. They were the things that I'm the most proud of. The things I said no, well, I'm not so sure. And I hope He forgives me. Some years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting a guy named Bill Dollar. Right? You may not know this, but the original dollar store had nothing to do with dollar bills. It was named after Bill Dollar. Okay? His family kind of divided the company all up later in the economy. Dollar this and dollar that and so forth. And Bill disappeared. But I met Bill at a Faith Live. And he was obviously a very wealthy man, but at the particular time I met him, he had just discovered 4 months he had leukemia. And he probably had about 3 years to go. And he gave a witness at that point, in which he read a prayer. Interesting that he should come back, saying there, God, the protector of all who trust in you, without whom nothing is strong, nothing is holy. Increase and multiply upon us your mercy, that with you as our ruler and guide, we may so pass through things temporal, we not lose things eternal. He said, I have discovered from my leukemia and the fact that I am going to be dead, in the remaining period of my time, I'm going to do something. Because I always felt I had to do what was necessary at the expense of what is important. And I'm going to devote my life to something important. That. And he did. And he left a fabulous legacy, of which the dollar store is not it. God calls us. God calls everyone to something. I promise you. If you don't know that, you're not listening. It may be for something fantastic and great that you do not know about yet, but it could be something very simple and unimportant, at least in the temporal sense of the word, but it is important in the spiritual sense of the word. Don't say it. Don't ignore it. Don't be afraid of it. Have the trust of a child, even if it will kill you, because it will be okay. Because he who makes all things okay is in charge. Well, even if you say, let me do the Bible. Say, here am I. Send me.